Hi, everyone, and welcome to our second live training. Very excited to be going in and talking a bit more again about self development. And some of you might know it better as self improvement. So, 2 weeks ago, we did the 5 reasons why, and we're going to do a little bit of a recap as well once I get the slides up. But we talked about the 5 reasons why self development doesn't work and sucks. And today we're here to talk about the 3 reasons why self development is necessary. And it's actually pretty dang awesome. All right. So let's go ahead. Let me share my screen so you guys have the power presentation. Now, if you're watching this live, remember, if you want to join in so you can ask questions and that you can also comment, then you want to get in on the Zoom call itself. So uh, leave a message and I will get back in touch with you and I will get you that information so that you can go ahead and call in on the Zoom and be able to ask questions. So last week, David was with us. This week, we have Sarah with us. She is one of the Next Level First coaches, as well. She's also a first-time storytelling coach. So all right, so 3 reasons why self-development is necessary and amazing. As I mentioned, the quick little recap from last week. So last week talked about the 5 reasons why self-development doesn't work and sucks. And those reasons are that it's hard. It requires a lot of your resources, so your time, your energy, and your money. Self-development, self-improvement is there's no one size fits all answer. So there's trial and error, and you have to find what works for you. It must be action driven. If we love that you're here with us, you want to listen to presentation, you want to educate yourself, but ultimately, if you're going to make it happen, then you must take action. It's a huge commitment. So it's not something that happens overnight. You're not going to improve and change overnight. You have to commit to it as you're putting in the hard work. And you're guaranteed some setback and failures. Now, just because you have setbacks and failures, that doesn't mean that it's game over. Setback and failures are not the same as quitting and giving up. So when you have a setback, how you handle that setback, and then you come back from it and you re-engage. You make tweaks, you pivot, you figure out what you need to change, and then you start over or you continue on. So, but once you quit, once you give up, then yes, then it's over. Or it might not be even then, it might not be over forever, but it's definitely for that effort that you're trying, it's going to be over until you decide to try again. So I was not trying to be a downer when I presented this. So I invite you to watch that video. Again, obviously into deeper details about it. And the aim was to give you the awareness of, what it takes in self-development and why it doesn't work for some people and why, it sucks for everyone sometimes. So, reality is, Sarah and I, we're in the self-development, self-improvement world, and we're constantly applying it for ourselves. And we know that sometimes it's really hard. It sucks. It's challenging. It takes a lot out of us. But then we also know why we're doing it. So that's what we're going to talk about in this presentation is why it's really, truly worth doing it. So just like I did in the previous brief, we want to identify our terminology. So what is self-development? So again, self-development, self-improvement is a process by which a person's character, so everything about who you are and your abilities are gradually developed. They're change and they're improved. So it's putting in efforts towards self-fulfilling who you were created as a human being. So you can do that, it's through education, it's through learning, it's a lot of self-growth, it's a lot of exploration, and you can have a lot of assistance. You can go into very structured fashion in doing that, or you can do it on your own. And it's definitely tied to your capabilities, improving, increasing your own capabilities, which ultimately improves and increases your potential. So, self development is what is required in order to constantly continue to develop, to grow, and to change. So, that will come into big play on into why it's an amazing thing for you to do. So it is a requirement to achieve your goals. It is needed for growth and evolution, and it is the key to living your best life. So that's why it's necessary, and that's why it's amazing. All right, so let's get into it. Requirement to achieve your goals. Now, we would all love for our goals to be a point A to point B, straight line, marching on that line. We know what to do, and it's easy peasy. We have to put a little bit of effort, but we have a clear plan. The plan is working out. We constantly get the outcome and the results that we want. And yeah, reality is that's not how it goes. There's ups, there's downs, and like I mentioned, there are setbacks, there are failures, and there's so much that happens. You have to grow in order to constantly overcome the odds that life presents or puts in your way. So if you stay the same, then you can't get on the other side, because the other side is only available to a different version of who you are, to an improved version, to someone who has a little bit more information, a little bit more knowledge. So your goals, if the reason why we set goals is because we aim to achieve something. Otherwise, we wouldn't set goals. We would go day to day on our merry way and all would be fine. But we set goals because there's something more that we want, that we're aiming for and that we want to achieve. And the way that you get to those goals is through self-development. So you have to embrace self-development to get to your goals. Unless, again, if you're setting goals that doesn't require you to grow, then what kind of goals are they? Are they really goals, or there are things that you want to achieve? They're not pushing you to grow, to learn, to change, and to improve. I would call it more like a to-do list. A to-do list, you probably don't need to have self-development to complete your to-do list, because it's in the realm of what you're capable of doing. Your goals, on the other hand, they start crossing over into what you need to grow in order to meet your goals. All right, so growth and evolution. I have to say, here at 365 First, we are all about growth and evolution. We are keeping the mindset of what is, what's in the realm of possibility for the human race. And the way for us to achieve what's greater than what we have as the human race, each one of us has to continue to grow and has to continue to evolve. The only way you do that is through self-development. So if we don't want to go backwards in the things that we achieve, so individually, you don't want to go backwards. As a community, as a family, as a community, as a society, we don't want to go backwards. And I have to say, some respect at times in certain aspect of our society, we are kind of going backwards. And if we're not, and backwards or sinking, or that's not what you want. If you're not on a path of self-development, if you're not aiming to continue to grow and improve and evolve who you are, then you're either going backwards, or you're sinking, or you're stuck. You're not moving, right? So, like this cute little sheep there, you don't want to find yourself stuck to where you're not proceeding forward, you're not growing, and you're not evolving. So we want to avoid going backwards, and we want to avoid being stuck. So what we want is continue to put the pieces together to continue to grow, to continue to evolve, because that growth and evolution as an individual, again, it's what's going to help you, reach your goals, but it's also what's going to improve your life. We're going to get that into the next point. So this is a plant evolution, but you can look at human evolution, and if you really are true and honest about our human evolution the last 100 years, there's been great evolution in regards to technology. So technology, there's been leaps and bounds that come from, some great minds that create new technology. We've adopted that technology, and we've improved our quality of life, and there's been some great changes, some not such great ones, because of that. However, think about, what about the human evolution, and across the board, how we treat each other, right? How much have we improved how we take care of one another? How much have we improved how we communicate with each other? How much have we improved in solving the human loops that people find themselves in? So all the things that impact, children, and then you go and you into your teenage years, and those problem escalate, and then you bring whatever happened in your childhood and as a teenager into your adulthood, and you still have to work through all of those issues to then progress and hopefully get to another level in your life. So if you look at the self-development industry right now, everyone has a different program to solve a certain loop, right? So it can be solving physical loops, getting people in shape. And then we go through cycles, different diets, different theories. We go back and forth between what's better for us. Is it the carnivore diet? Is it the vegetarian diet? Is it fasting? Is it keto? Right? So we're looking for these solutions to these certain problems, when, let's think about this. It's probably tied to emotions, right? Emotional eating. It's tied to discipline, the level of discipline that people have, the stress, and how stress is impacting people's health. So we're not breaking the loops of what's creating negative emotion loops that then has all these cause and effect. We're not breaking the loops of how people are stressed, unhappy, and dissatisfied with life, and then what's leading different actions. So alcohol abuse, suicide, they're all, all of these problems, all of these cause and effect are because we're still human beings caught in the loops that are created in our childhood, that are created as adolescent, that are maintained as adults, or further uh, uh, further, what's the word I'm looking for? Not develop, but impact.
Exacerbated.
Yeah, in adulthood. So We need to learn how to break those cycles much earlier on, which means as adult, we have to solve our cycles so that we don't keep replicating them. We keep giving them to the next generation. So it's applying the technology and the things that are out there to start breaking all of those. So it's looking at self-development, embracing it, and realizing I must, invest in myself, in my development, to break these cycles so I don't keep passing them on. And then if I break those cycles in me, I can help the people who are around me, and I understand what it takes to break those cycles, that, all those patterns that have been developed, that have been created, that are part of your psychology, they're part of who you are, they're part of your unconscious, they're part of, how your brain sees the world. And you have to rewrite all of that. Well, we need to break that so the next generations of human beings don't get caught in the same cycle. They don't have to rewrite the same stuff, so they can write new things, and then we evolve as humans once we're able to do that. So what is the future of humanity? So it's like, what is self-development is, pertinent, critical to what is your future, but it is so impactful as a whole to what is the future of humanity. So it is growth and our evolution. Self-development is also, it is the key to living your best life. So if you don't want to go backwards, if you don't want to be stuck, if you want to grow and you want to move forward, you want to experience new level of success, new levels of leisure time, of financial freedom, or whatever it is that you identify as your best life, well, the way that you reach that is through self-development. Otherwise, your life, whatever it is right now, it will stay that way, or it will get stagnant and go backwards. The way forward is through self-development, with that understanding that is hard work, it's a commitment, might have setbacks. You're going to have to put in, the effort. You're going to have to commit your resources to it, and you're going to have to take actions. It's not something you can dream about. We'll talk about setting your intentions. We'll talk about those things, but at the end of the day is, what actions are you actually taking in order to achieve your self-development, in order for you to grow different aspects of who you are? The slides are a little backwards. So let me go with this slide first, and then I'll go back to how you all can get in touch with us. And I'll see if Sarah has anything to add. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to talk about how to find your own solution. So uh, I mentioned self-development, self-improvement. There's no one size fits all. What you need to understand is the equation for self-development for you to find your own solution. So in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about that equation. I have to say, it's not a simple equation, but it is the key. So once you understand the equation, you can start plugging into the equation, and then you can find your own solution of what works for you, because it can hinder your progress to hang on to what one person says, and their solution is actually all wrong for you. So it's going to throw you into a loop that you weren't in. And now you're going to create a new loop for you that does not serve you. So then you're going to have to first break that loop before you can find the right thing that is for you. So we're going to talk about the equation to finding your own solution in 2 weeks. So let me see if I can go back. All right. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel first off, right? And make sure you hit the little bell so that you get the updates from us. And the other places where you can find us is we have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. If you join us in the group, and we can talk more about how to embrace first times and new experiences as you maximize what you get out of life and as you progress on your journey of self development through first times and new experiences. You can also find us on Instagram and on Twitter. Sarah, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Sure. I love this series, Anne. I'm so excited that we're doing it, that self-development and self-improvement and people's ideas about them are, I think, some people look at them like your slide where it's an A to B, but really it's an A to squiggly line to maybe it stopped here and you reconnect with another line down here. So this is hugely valuable. And I thought of so many friends and family members, myself included, who have recently done things where they've had to reinvent or change their path. So I'm really excited about talking about the solution for the next one, because it isn't a one size fit all, but we will have some tools and some ideas to pass along to everyone who is looking for maybe a way to get back on a path or change paths or start something new because of circumstances. And the timing of this series is great because coming up on 2021, where people are looking at 2020 like, goodbye, no love lost, let's move on. Really digging into this topic at this time is excellent timing.
Awesome. I'm really glad that you were here, that you joined us. And again, for everyone, if next time you want to be in on a Zoom call with us, leave a message or find us on social media, send me a DM, and I will make sure to send you the Zoom information. So 2 weeks from now, we're gonna no one else is giving an equation to self-development, right? So next week, 2 weeks from now, it's going to be some really great information. And on this channel, lots of great information where we want to equip you with information. We want to make these, this series not too long, not share too much information all at once, so that because it's a process, and it's better to slowly educate yourself, be clear on how to get started, how to continue forward. And we'll talk about planning, we'll talk about goal setting. So while next week is going to be the equation, then we'll educate you on each part of the equation, everything that you need. So because 2020 just shook so many people to their core and created so much change, confusion, anxiety, fears, unknown, and we're still in that space. We're not completely out of it, but this is, moving into, like Sarah said, it's a great time because moving into 2021 and, asking yourself the hard questions and setting, if nothing else, clarity around what everything that has happened so far has meant for you and to you and for the people in your life, although that's in the periphery because you can change you never try to change others. But getting that clarity around that is empowering. So you cannot control circumstances, you cannot control other people, you can control yourself, how you react to things, and that is powerful. But it's not easy. You have to put in the effort to have the ability to do that. And we are here to educate and support you in doing that. So like I said, Sarah's is a life coach. It's and the team, they're all certified life coaches. So they know how to work with people to assist with all of those different things. I am not a life coach, so extremely knowledgeable, can educate you. I got trained as a life coach, but it's not something that I do now. But that's why I have the team that's there, so that if you all are looking for assistance, they can provide you the additional support. But that's also why we want you on these calls. We We want you to join in. Let's, allow you to ask the questions in the comments after the live. Any questions that you have, you can leave the questions. We'll go back, we'll answer them. Let's get the communication, let's get the conversation going, and let us be there to help you and to support you and to encourage you. So that is it for tonight. So I'm going to say good night. Sarah, you want to? All right, she's just waving. She is waving at goodbye. So thank you for watching, and we'll again stay tuned for the channel. We're going to release a first time challenge this week. So stay tuned for